Well, if the Israelis decide to use a tactical nuclear weapon or any nuclear weapon with the goal of stopping Iran's relentless missile attacks, I think that will change the situation dramatically. I'm not sure Israel will survive it. The Russians, the Chinese at that point would definitely intervene and make it clear to us that if this is not stopped and continues, that they will actively join the fight against Israel and us. And remember, I don't think the Israelis are going to do something like this immediately. I'm forecasting that at some point the Israelis say, if Iran will not stop, we will launch a nuclear weapon. That's kind of what I think might happen. Well, we don't have any control over Israel. Israel controls us. That's very clear. So if we can't control Israel and Israel does this, then Russia and China intervene. Well, they would intervene at a point in time where we've exhausted our inventories. So how do we put up a significant fight? Until this point in time, all during the proxy war in Ukraine, behind the scenes and even in public, people raised the issue of we can't go too far. We have to think in terms of our war reserves. But eventually, over time, that caution was thrown to the wind because there was no evidence that Russia was being defeated, that Russia was being destroyed, that the sanctions were doing their work. And so we decided we'll put more and more and more into the Ukraine war. Well, that's failed miserably, and they've exhausted their war reserves in Germany, in France, in Britain, and other countries. We have done the same thing with much of our munitions. So if you've done that, and then all of a sudden the Russians and the Chinese say, that's it, stop, Israel's used a nuclear weapon, we will not tolerate that. And if they don't stop, we may use a nuclear weapon in response. That's always a possibility. What do? I think we have to tell the Israelis, you've got to stop. And if you won't stop, we're leaving. I think we'll get to that point. And that's not an end state that we've planned for. We've planned for the other end state, Iran and its evil leaders who are responsible for terrorism and threatening the whole world will have to submit. No, they don't. And they won't.